Greetings from St. Louis today. This is Renee Benson with Sony Electronics at AV Renee KC. You are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hey, this is Nancy Blanchard with Bose Professional, and I am here in San Jose, California, and you're listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hey, James King here, writer for the Higher Ed Digital Magazine, IT and AV column, Hutton board member. Google me, you'll find me, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University, from HETMA, from higheredav.com, and from all the wonderful socials out there at T Van Wert. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right. Well, we're gonna jump right into this because we got three fabulous guests with us tonight. A couple of returners and then one first timer. But if you were at Infocom, you would not forget this amazing gentleman that we had with us. So I'm just going to go out and introduce him first. Lisle Waldron. Lisle, how are we doing?
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I'm hot. I'm on an island. The weather's hot. Anybody's mad at me. Get at me. It's hot. I'm good though. It's good to be here.
Yeah. You could take some of my 40-degree weather here in New Jersey and
I would.
At it.
We shall discuss that soon enough. Take my word for it.
Lisle is also one of my. We are the part of the tallest men.
In AV.
Yes.
Yes.
So we share that title, and we will in perpetuity. We will always share that title. Lisle, tell us a little bit about yourself for the people that might be hearing you for the first time. So,
all right. Hi, my name is Lisle Waldron. I am not from around these here parts. I'm from a beautiful Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago. That means that one of my hopeful contributions to the higher ed AV community is how to do this stuff on a budget, because I have none. Everything else is great, but we get the job done with zero on the dollar sign.
Money is no object when you have none, right?
There you go.
That's a fact, James. That's a fact.
I like it.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to move right over to Lex Evans. Welcome back to the AV Life. Lex, how are you?
Good to be back. I'm grand. Thanks for asking.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So, and again, also tell a little bit about yourself in case people haven't heard from you in a while. So,
hey friends, I'm Lex Evans. I work at USC as the digital signage and customer experience manager. And I also work for HETMA. I'm a big supporter and love HETMA with all my heart. And then I also am the creative director for Higher Ed AV Magazine, which is now a part of HETMA. And then I'm a part of Wave It too. So join it if you're a woman in AV. We highly recommend. We love a good women's group. So, yep, that's me.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Lex. And yeah, you definitely keep yourself busy. From all those pieces.
Yes.
I wonder how you do it sometimes. Let's kind of, you're not quite Joe Way level yet, but you're, as far as like busyness, but you're getting there.
Listen here, you don't know that because I don't brag like Joe Way, who's always
But
and he's always talking about how he never stops working. But I worked for him.
another key thing is Lex is doing all of this. Joe did it, but he had a team who did the daily. Lex doesn't.
That's true.
He's a rock star.
He works hard though. Let that be said and on record. He does work.
Yang. That's right.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Richard Hutton. How are you, Richard?
Perfect. Thanks
Welcome
for having me back.
Oh, gladly.
Nice. The screen is full. We're almost like what was it? Hollywood Squares or whatever.
Almost.
Brady Bunch.
Well, right now, James is my Alice, if that was the case, So it's
Brady Bunch.
No, it's great to be
Works
here.
for me.
Thanks for having me. It's not as beautiful as it is on Trinidad and Tobago, but I've not met Lisle before. Lisle might be speaking to us from like a basement in Brooklyn or something.
Anything's
know.
possible.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible in 2024.
I just want to make sure, Lyle, that your Trinidad and Tobago soccer team don't do the USA any harm on Thursday night when we play, because you've been known to be spoilers, knocked them out of qualifying for World Cup.
Do not ever forget 89. You all took that one away from us. We are still in pain. Nobody under the age of 50 will forget. Right? But we, I've forgiven, but I don't think anybody else has. Let's put it that way.
I'll say, admittedly, my knowledge of any soccer does not go back beyond 1994. So that's
trust me, it's a good story.
That's what soccer existed in the United States. I feel like it was.
I emigrated in '94.
Well, there you go.
I landed on June 23rd, and on I think July 1st, I was at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena watching USA play Romania, I think, at a World Cup game.
Oh, 94 was that? Yes, Colombia was in the World Cup. That guy did the own goal, and that was the end of his life.
Yeah, that's right. That was not cool.
That was rough. Everybody in the world looked at that own goal and said, "Hey."
Yeah.
I actually got to watch Saudi Arabia team practice because they used Stockton University's fields.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, it's nice. Must be nice.
All right, enough soccer. That's enough soccer talk for an American podcast, right?
Yeah.
Well, 2026 is going to be here before we know it. So
hey, get ready, Renee. You need to get your spare room done, because you guys have got the closest game to me, because Chicago didn't bid on any games. So St. Louis is is it St. Louis or Kansas? I think they both might be hosting.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is a soccer town. Let me use the American term. It's a soccer town. It's a real live soccer town.
I have MetLife 20 minutes from my house, so
MetLife isn't bad.
So I will have. There's rumor the finals could be there. Yeah,
you do have the final, I believe.
Oh, we do. Yeah. Okay, I didn't hear the final on the final.
So I actually saw in MetLife Stadium. I saw AC Milan versus Manchester United.
Ooh.
That was a good game. Went into overtime and PKs.
Wow.
That's what you want.
So in essence, every sport at MetLife is better than the teams that are at MetLife.
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah,
got it.
That's a true story. I
got it.
And that's coming from a Giants fan.
Yeah.
See, and I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't have any stake in the game aside from that. It's right there for me. So
I don't have an NFL team, so guess what? I'm with Renee for now. She got me at least till the injury that ain't hopefully never gonna happen. So go party, go party, go.
All right. Well, I mean, that's so, and I know James has always stood by that. With it being this close to for the World Cup, and with all the manufacturers that are involved with the World Cup, there's an opportunity to really get our information out there to prospective talent that might be out there.
Biggest sports audience in the world.
Run some tours, get the word out, show how things are done. Like, this is the true global stage. This is everybody plays soccer, and it's not like American football. They're trying, but it's not working so well. But I think, I'm totally with James that there's an opportunity here for our industry, just in general, the AV industry, to really make an opening, and at a time where I think we could really benefit from it. So, speaking of manufacturers and technology and all that, it has been announced, and it just came through on I just saw the post from our favorite Joe Way out there that the annual SAVE conference has been announced, coming up in March, and I'm looking, here we go. The SAVE 2024 Global Conference, Sustainability in AV, and it's March 14th through the 15th at UCLA. So Yeah, I know. I
Why
saw
is
that.
Why is that the venue? That's weird. Why?
I wonder.
Because it's
I
Joe
wonder
Way.
why.
The cult of Joey
It
continues.
says sticky little fingers and everything.
Lex, you couldn't get in there. No crosstown
She's not
rivalry
lying.
there.
Oh dear.
Boo.
So that's coming up. So mark your calendars and look out for more information as we get closer for that. And I know I put this out on Twitter. I just need to be. I feel like I need to be proud for myself here. Is that I'm actually going to go get my CTS now. So I'm all signed up for virtual class in December, and then next year I'll be taking the test and getting my CTS. So I just feel like I need to be proud of myself for a minute because
No,
I
that's
just had
great.
to.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I keep telling myself I need to sign up. I just haven't pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pleasantly surprised that I got approval for the class from Rutgers. They're paying for it. They're actually paying for me and 2 other colleagues to get it done. And
that's cool.
That's good. It's good.
yeah, we've been asking for the last couple of years, and they cut our travel budget, but there's still training budget. So we're managing to get it done since it's virtual. So
Nice.
Not bad.
so if you're looking for me towards like the middle of December, don't at least not during working hours, because I'll be focused on that. So I'm really looking
Outright
forward to
jump
that.
off.
It's good.
Exactly. I'll talk to you later. And in other news, or maybe it's not news, because I read the articles, I watched some videos. Apparently the Sphere out of the first quarter is negative almost $100 million.
Losing money like that.
Yeah.
100 million.
So what are our thoughts about this? I'm just throwing this out there to the crowd here to see where we go with this.
I don't know why anybody's surprised, right? Why
Exactly.
surprised? It's such a monumental undertaking. Every business needs capital investment. It's created, the fact we're talking about it, right? It's created such a stir beyond our industry. I did take a one to go, well, how much are they paying you two for those gigs? You two are getting a guaranteed $4 million per night.
Wow.
For a seating capacity of 17,500. I used to do a little promoting back in the day. That math doesn't work out. They are losing money hand over fist. But they're all over everything. I mean, so about a global sensation. I think it's awesome. I think it's great for our industry. I think it shows the technology at the pinnacle kind of thing. And some people might say it's overkill, it's gross. It's Las Vegas. Come on.
Everything's overkill and gross.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's
Vegas,
awesome. It's in Las Vegas. I love it. I can't wait to go.
My thing, I agree with Richard. First off, you look at it, they were double the budget they proposed for anyway. I mean, they wanted I think it was 1.3 million or billion, and came back to 2.3 or 2.1. I don't know. It's something like that. So they basically doubled their budget to just build the place. So of course, the first quarter they're going to lose money, and also they've only really have been open on the inside since September.
Right.
So the inside was bringing no money in until September. So again, you have all that. So that's hard to judge it. Now, I think where they're very limited right now, which I think it's gonna help them but also hurt them, is to be able to display anything, to hold a concert, to hold any kind of event in that sphere. You have to put it into their format, which is 18K. Who is developing 18K content? Not many people. So it's going to be
Lex can do it.
No. People forget I'm not a graphic designer. I just happen to be the best in the AV community because nobody designs in the AV community. I will say though, I would be surprised if they didn't have an internal team that works.
They do. You can hire their
Cool.
team, which is very
Yeah.
expensive. Like, for example, to do the outside, the marking. So this is an article I read where a standard billboard, if you, a business, wanted to do an ad on a billboard, it would cost you 20 grand to have that billboard for a month where you're at. To do advertising on the Sphere was $250,000 a day.
Mhm.
But
Is that
you
with
got
markups or like that's just like the cost?
that. The article was very vague. But with that
Manufacturer suggested
250,
retail price.
bro, with the 250, you got their content creation team who help put your content in the right format. So it tends to be a good value because, like I said, who's developing 18K product video content right now is probably not many. And like bands like YouTube, yeah, they of course can do an 18K video format, but not many other bands can. Like Beyonce is another person who could really easily afford to do an 18K content. But these lower end bands are not going to go to that venue because they can't do the content unless they're willing to pay to get the content created.
Do y'all remember when YouTube was downloaded on like everyone's phones?
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that.
That's all I know about YouTube.
I will say, like, with everything with the Sphere, it kind of reignited me listening to them.
Mhm.
I know I talked about this
Yeah.
on another episode, but there's an interview with them about creating the content and how they found digital artists that did create the 8K artistry. And from all the videos that I've seen that have been taken inside while the concert is going on, it's absolutely
It's
spectacular.
so cool.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
definitely a good experience.
So I want to jump in on that moment of heresy from Lex about not knowing about YouTube. How dare
Okay,
you?
first of all,
How
I thought
dare
this was
you?
a safe space.
No, not while I'm here. Okay? No. And I'm gonna play YouTube in Vegas just because now, right? But I
I'm
think
stoked. It was a trick all along. I just wanted you to play you too.
Rat, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those kids. I think
Meddling
Tim,
kids. Those meddling kids.
yes, those meddling kids. I think it's an exercise in vanity, but I think it's a good one because it's a technology demonstrator. I can't see it as meaning to be sustainable. I mean, what are the electricity bills going to look like? Like, we're talking about content creation. What do they have? Their own power plant? So across the board on this, I think it's a necessary evil for what it is. And I think the only person could answer what it is really is the person who commissioned it, who got $2 billion to throw around on a vanity project. It does bring me back to, because I have a million things that I want to write for Lex. I have to get my house in order first. But it brings me back to a through line that I'm seeing in higher ed AV, a question that I've asked for years and years, that I can apply to this, which is somebody set these expectations, who and how. I'm no longer sure in AV if we know why we expect what we expect. Somebody had an expectation of a vision for a sphere that could do 18K content, and I could see it from 10 miles away. I'm not too sure what the use case was. Did that start with a use case, or did it start with an untethered expectation? And that's why we're here. And I'm not too sure. Yes, Richard, I did say untethered, because I'm not like, this is a thing I'm mulling over. Like, where are all of these expectations for that being reality coming from? Is that real? I mean, it's there. Should it be?
So some with the
You
Sphere.
could doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. So the something with the Sphere, though, is what I kind of chopped up to a saying I heard, and I think they kind of fall in this line is, today they will laugh at you, tomorrow they will ask for your advice. And yes, the Sphere is something new. This is unique, but I've already hear they're trying to build a bigger one in London or Paris, already in development, and that was before this Sphere opened. So I think it has a unique wow factor to it. It does bring highlight to AV because that whole thing is AV. And as someone who lives in Vegas, and yes, I'm not a Vegas native, so I will say that up front, but as someone who's currently living in Vegas, I can't wait to see what comes of this. There is
Yes.
so many, like, I don't know if you've seen the videos with just the emoji face.
Yeah.
Like, there are videos of the emoji face reacting to airplanes or golfers, and it's hilarious. So I was just actually telling my wife this today. I was like, Saturday is the F1 race. What are they going to have? What are they going to have on this sphere?
Yeah,
Is they going to have the
it's gonna be epic.
emoji watching the cars going around? That is going to be pretty cool. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm excited to watch this race, and I'm
they've got
excited
it
to see
booked.
what they do.
They've got it booked out for the entire time of the race, right? James?
What do you mean?
Like I think the F1 organizers have it, like they have the space booked out specifically for them, I think, for the 2 or 3 days of the race.
Oh,
Like, I think I
possible.
saw, yeah.
They got the F1 is throwing so much money around right now, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of locals are not happy about it, but I'm looking forward to see what comes of this. I know there's a lot of disruption, but this
Yeah.
year they have a 10-year contract. This year was the first year. They had to build everything. So there was a lot of disruption. I think going in further, won't be as much disruption, but there's still going to be some. But the only thing that I don't like is the race is Saturday at 10 p.m. my time. And I'm like, how? This is the latest race in F1 history.
Well,
That doesn't work for European market either.
I was about to say, was it
Yeah.
time in China? Was it time in Dubai? Was it time in England?
It's good.
I
It's good for
don't-
the Asian market. It's not good
Correct.
for the European market.
Correct, right?
And I don't think I think what they said, because I read an article about why they chose this time, and I don't know how true it is. It might be fluff, but the article I read talked about that they were trying to play nice to the locals because they have to shut down the roads to, clear it and all this stuff. So they're shutting down the roads at 5 p.m. to get them cleared and get them wrapped each night before the race and practices and all that stuff.
Qualifying
So
and all
that's 5 hours before the race that they're closing down the road. So that might be why they chose a 10 p.m. race, just to say, hey, okay, roads are closing at 5 p.m. And a lot of businesses are really
bristling.
They're trying to respect that and stuff like that. Like, I know UNLV, they're actually saying if your employees can work from home, let them work from home that week, so they don't have to deal with the traffic and all that stuff and road closures. I know, like, a lot of the casinos are offering their employees extra bonuses for coming, because I think they're afraid no one's going to come. But yeah, it's going to be definitely going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it.
So here's something though. By having it at night and Vegas gets cold, what's that going to do to the tires? Because it's going to take a while to get those tires warmed up.
So that's the
worry
thing.
about that. They'll be fine.
Everyone's talking about that. Okay, it's actually pretty cold right now in Vegas, and also they're calling for rain the day of the race.
Ooh,
And everyone's
really?
they're calling for rain. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but you know what? They say 40%. Normally 40% in Vegas is 100%. But they're calling for rain, and that's why everyone's like, oh, they didn't prepare for this. It's going to be cold weather and it's going to be raining. I'm like, F1 knows what they're doing. They're not a mill company. They race everywhere. They race in cold weather. They race in rain. They do this all the time. They are prepared. And it's not like they're going to come in here and be blindsided by the weather. The track's definitely going to be interesting because it's going to be the fastest track, because it has the longest straightaway. So that's going to be interesting.
And it does go around the sphere.
Yes, it goes around the sphere and then down the strip.
Yeah.
First person view of Lewis Hamilton while you're in the sphere. How does it sound? Think it's a plan? You get in that full sensory vibration, sound, and cameras on Lewis Hamilton's car. They're gonna make some money. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So one question, going back to the sphere, do you think that this is the future digital signage? Because maybe companies, depending on what the cost is, price, you get trade shows coming in, maybe people are buying time for that, or for other types of marketing concepts.
Nancy, if I could jump in there, I would say no. And this is where I get little Star Trekky on you all. I think the future of digital signage is going to be what we've seen in every version of a Minority Report, or those original, like, not Terminator, what was it? Oh gosh, they did it over the other day. But anyway, it's going to be those like AR, 3D, don't need virtual reality goggles stuff. I think the future of advertising and digital signage is going to be us walking down Times Square and potentially having advertisements and digital signage interacting with us in the physical space, even though they're not there. And that's why, for me, like everything James said, 100%, I'm standing with it. But I think this is the last piston engine plane right when the jets started rolling out. I think we're going to see a massive difference in things that we've not seen right now. And I think in particular, like some of these things are already happening in Japan and Asia and, certain places over there. But because we're so isolated to what we know, more power to them for building bigger ones. If the wall ever happens in Saudi, what is digital signage going to be like on the wall? So I'm not too sure the form factor of the sphere is a thing. I think it's so cool right now because it's one of a kind and whatnot, that we're going to keep talking about it. But I think this is going to be a very quick $2 billion phase, which is kind of scary to see.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
Lex,
they're
what
already
do you think? As someone who does digital creation and stuff for UFC, what do you think?
Thank you. I sort of agree with Lyle. I think that definitely the closer future of digital signage is more interactive, especially interactive in a way that the user wants to interact with it. Some people like their phones, different options, or touch screens, different things like that, that make it really fun, especially in the retail space. I can't wait to see that. I've already seen some instances where you can, design, your shoes or your outfits, or you can see examples of outfits before you and people spinning around maybe in different sizes, so you can kind of see what it looks like. So I really think that there's going to bring a lot more inclusivity with digital signage there. As far as the sphere goes, a couple things. One, I feel like the sphere and things like the sphere are going to be throughout the world, but it's going to be in very niche and small instances where they need that glitz and glamour, but it's not going to be like a day-to-day thing in the near future. I never want to say never, because, a lot of tech that we have today, nobody thought would be a regular use of, I don't think anyone imagined a computer in our hands at one point. So I never want to say never, but I just don't see it right now because the cost accessibility is just not there. It just isn't. But I think Las Vegas is a great place to, it's the city of lights. Come on, that's the perfect place to debut this. It was great thoughts there. Regarding the report, which I wanted to mention earlier, I feel like nobody touched on the fact that everyone's making the CFO leaving like this dramatic thing, but like low key that I feel like there is tea. So like the CFO, his name's Gautam Ranji. So he resigned, but apparently he had like some drama with the CEO, James.
Yeah, there was a yelling match I heard. So yeah.
So like, is it, everyone knows, your workplace can be like, it could be a dire situation or it could be not so bad, but like, there's so many different things that can factor in a CFO leaving or anyone leaving at a company. It's just because it's more high profile and like, gore sells. You know what I mean? So I'm also curious if half of the revenue, like they saw that coming and they saw the drop in revenue coming just because of, what the expected report was going to include, how they just started in September. Like there's no way super intelligent financial people did not see this coming.
Right.
Like there's no way. So I'm thinking that combined with the CFO leaving is like this perfect storm to just create some drama around it. And they're just going with the press. Like,
I heard that the CFO kept kicking the CEO's ass at ping pong in the lunchroom every day. I'm done
at
with
some
this.
point it's
You're out.
personal.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
To be fair with Dolan, it's always personal. Anybody who knows what's going on with the New York Knickerbockers and Madison Square Garden knows with Dolan, when it's his pet project, because he's that guy in the room. It's always personal. There's only one person that could speak to James Dolan. James Dolan.
Mhm.
And the talk about the whole completely different story. The going off of what Lyle was saying about the future of digital signage and stuff. Wife and I just started watching this show. I forget what platform it's on. It's called The Murder at the End of the World. And but that
Oh, yeah, that's on our
what
list.
what was interesting was this basically these people get invited to this gathering, but the main character that's being followed in this series, her way she got invited was she had to download an app, and basically the app did an AR of a AI, and she could talk to it like almost like it was a real person in the room, but she had to view, like you couldn't see them unless they were viewing for the AR stuff. It was actually pretty cool thinking. Like, I mean, the AI still knocked on the door, so like we seated. It was weird, but it's like freaky that this stuff could actually theoretically happen.
Well, and I know people have started to, even though it doesn't say that he's going to use it this way. Elon Musk, the Neuralink project that he's been working on, they have FDA approval to start human trials. And paralysis is where they're going for, but everyone's now taking it to the next level of, it's like, well, if they could do that and they're implanting something in your brain, then they could just broadcast things directly into your brain, and they don't need to,
Here
but they
we
don't,
go.
well, yeah, but here's the thing, they don't need to do that because we have these already. Like I went to Disney, and like all my ads and things like that were geolocated for things in Florida. So it's not even like I needed to change anything. I didn't have to do anything except for take this device with me. And this, I'm holding up my cell phone for those of you who aren't on YouTube. We had like everything was here already. I didn't do anything. They knew I was in Disney. They, based on whatever I was searching, whatever apps I was using, here's all the Florida things. Hey, get off of Disney property and go to Golden Corral. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't think about that. It's like things to do in Kissimmee. It's like, well, so there's no need to implant.
I think the hard thing, though, Tim, for a futurist type driven conversation is guessing what we don't know. And like, you're right. I had the same experience every time I come to the States. Like, we don't get YouTube ads here in China. We just don't. Every time I land, I'm like, what is this? Oh, right. It knows I'm here. It knows I'm here now. But I think for me, today is yesterday and tomorrow is unknown. Next week and next year and 10 years down the road, who has a clue? The difference between, stumbling on what that next thing is going to be. I think don't look too far past that implant for now, for one reason and one reason only. I think the future is a future of the ideal product is the one I don't have to spend much money to make or reproduce. I have to R&D it. And if I can get those things, Tim, straight into your head while you're driving past Kissimmee, why not? If I'm not dependent on a middleman, Apple, Google, Samsung, whomsoever, why not? As scary as that may sound, we're kind of almost there.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, no. And
Very scary though.
Minority Report is also, where it's customized to as where you're walking. Like the ads are there. This is where I kind of wish Kim Frank was with us tonight. I feel like she could give us the insight on the ooh world out there that we're not fully aware of yet. But
I dropped a link in the chat. As I said, they're already doing some serious real world, I have to call it that, signage and advertising over in Asia. Everybody's in Japan or wherever stopping, looking at this 3-dimensional cat that's walking around at like 5 stories high or whatever is the case. So, more power to the Sphere and Dolan having to spend all that for trussing and concrete and all the rest. But suppose I can give you that image without having to do all of that in concrete.
Suppose some of that 3D projection stuff is really cool as well. I've seen some stuff in Times Square that is like, whoa, how do you do that?
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool, right?
Mark Coxon has a really good article or something explanation how they actually do that. If
Hmm.
you haven't seen it or read it, I forget what it was. It was a couple of years ago when they first started coming out. It's really cool of how they do that, because actually, I could be completely off base here, but if I recall correctly, is what that they do is that building or that area is wrapped in a screen,
Mhm.
and then what LED screen, and then what they do is they actually take video or a picture of the building and put it on the screen, and they build the content over that. So it's really the part you see of the building is actually video.
Mhm.
It's not actually the building itself, and that's why it looks 3D and everything. Really cool concept, really awesome out there, and Mark does a much better job at explaining it than I
And I
do.
think movie sets are doing that too, right?
I was about to say, Richard, Mandalorian. Mandalorian
Yeah.
is what I was
Yeah.
like. We live in a business of scale. There was a time when a projector was like 300 lumens and weighed 300 pounds, and that has flipped around. What happens when that Mandalorian set can now be a part of a building or a
Yeah.
room or a lobby,
Yeah.
and the whole
yeah.
lobby is actually the Mandalorian set, but you don't know that. So you go in there and there's clothes and there's everything else like normal, but you're now interacting with an actual three-dimensional physical space, which is in effect what they do in the Mandalorian set, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part, at least for me. I'm old enough now, I could say I started with a rotary phone because even on the islands, my aunt used to work for the phone company. And now I'm in a space where I'm speaking to y'all that are geographically all over the place. So what is the next version of this? Who knows? Who knows?
I think I get the whole Minority Report, the individual experiences. I just things like the Sphere set off sort of creativity from a standpoint of I think who came up with this word, decorating, right? It's like it's
Mhm.
not sort of direct marketing, but you're creating an experience in a space where that there wasn't one before.
Mhm.
So in Las Vegas right now, it's that Sphere. I mean, 25 years ago, we all went, "Ooh, look at the fountains outside the front of Bellagio," and we
Yes.
all lined
Yes.
up every 30
Right.
minutes to watch that, right?
Correct.
Now it's just that
Right.
on steroids, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of excited about that side of things.
And you
And
know
as
what?
competitive as we are, I mean, who's gonna be the next city to try to do the next thing, the next
Yeah.
step,
Yeah.
which is gonna take a lot to overcome, 18K content and that sort of thing, but
You got to think
it's
Dubai are looking at that stuff. You got to think
Oh,
some of the
absolutely.
gambling cities in China are looking at that too. New York.
Absolutely.
I'm sure New
As
York
a-
is trying to do something.
As a consumer and knowing that I'm going to be advertised at every angle at this point, I'm all for making it entertaining. Entertain me,
Absolutely.
capture my attention. I'm so sick of seeing the same types of things. I need some wow factor. I need it to be a true experiential thing.
Yeah.
That's why people go to all these theme parks and different things. We want that experience. So if you can
Yeah.
make that better, I'm all for it.
Well, yeah, and you're gonna remember that, right?
Yeah.
You think about, like, as a kid, I think of the stupid commercials that would play over and over, like Dunkin' Donuts. How many people remember it's time to make the
Time to make the
donut? Like, to this
donuts.
day, I can still hear that guy saying that, and that was what,
I don't
3
remember that.
years ago.
Yeah,
Whatever.
like quality and quality, thoughtful, experiential
Yeah.
design. It it catches attention and has customer advertisement in it. I'm lacking the words in itself. People are reposting that on social media. They're videotaping it. They're taking pictures with it. Like, come on, like you're getting it. It just keeps paying its dividends over and over and over. So if you can afford experiential advertising, do it. Like nobody's taking a picture with their YouTube.
The best form
Yeah.
of marketing, though, outside of the best form of marketing is what Tim was talking about earlier. I don't know whether we hit record then or not about his Disney experiences
Mhm.
and the whole customer service side.
Correct.
That-
Human side.
That is the best form of marketing. That's why service and support and what happens after the sale and all that other good stuff has happened is absolutely critical because that's what keeps people coming back and giving you a positive experience of the brand. Nothing like it. And Disney
Well-
does such a bang up job with that. I know.
Yeah.
Lex,
Percent.
if I was to like,
Lyle.
if I was to play devil's advocate and jump off from where
Sure.
you're at, I think
Sure.
if I had to take a position with the sphere. My problem is I think it's low on replayability. So I've seen the Bellagio now like 8 times. I do it because I'm usually there with somebody who's never seen it and they want to go see it. I'm not walking down there because I want to see it. So when you've seen the sphere and you go into the sphere, and let's say you've done it 2 Vegas trips, are you going to go back on a third and spend another 400 and again? How is that going to work? Now, there's also a barrier to entry to get the sphere experience. So for me, I think it lacks a replayability, that the short-sightedness of how cool it is. And make no mistake, everything you've said there is 100% spot on point. It's cool. But I'm not too sure if I've done it once, if I want to do it again and again and again and again.
But you know what? And this is where, and again, going back to the Disney experience, I could say that's a very similar situation. I go every 2 years to Walt Disney World. Sans COVID, I've been almost every 2 years, probably for the last decade or so. And yes, it's the same park, but there's always little things that have changed. It's never, yes, they add new rides and things like that, but there's nothing to say that the sphere can't be treated in a similar aspect. Depends on who the performer is. What is that next iteration of content going to look like? Like, is it going to be the drones along with, because that's a vast open space in there.
Yes. That's just
the drone side. Yeah, that is
gonna go crazy.
Yes.
Well, and I will say that was the one thing I was kind of let down about it with Disney, as I was expecting drones on this trip, but I didn't get any drones.
Well,
but no, at the same time, like my point is that we're gonna, if it's treated properly, and you're going to have the content that people are going to want to come back for time and time again, even with us that are involved with Avixa and Hetma, that we go to Vegas every 2 years. If the content's right, if the performance is right, it's like, yeah, I might still go put the money out to go see that experience. I put the money out to go to Disney and to do all that. So
if they're doing their job right, it will be entertaining every time. But also, your argument can be said about literally anything for the most part. Everything, people get bored. So, but I think that it'll take a while to get bored just because it's such a wow factor.
It's so overrated.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen it in person yet. We're going to see it. I'm going to see it in June, so I'll see. I think the differentiator for Disney, though, unironically, as for all the tech that exists in the world for even me, is really the human factor. I think, Tim, what makes it the difference with Disney is you can go see Star Wars 10 times. You're not going to have that Star Wars personnel walking around in the costume in the exact same pose every time. So it kind of leans back to what Lex is. And mind you, those little content clues matter, right? They really, really do. For a kid or for an adult, you walking by and somebody's there with a lightsaber or, a droid or a guard. It's not the same, I think, Lex, you're right. But we're making a big gamble here that this is not another one of those we needed more women in AV conversations. Because if this was a vanity project for a billionaire, oftentimes they're worried about building it. They're not usually worried about content past the obvious. So I'm going to get you two, and it's going to be all good. Where are the next 10 acts lined up? I hope they're there. I'm totally not hoping for it to fail. I want to see it succeed. What are going to be those differentiators, like those humans in costumes that you could interact with? Is it going to be drones? Is it going to be something else? Because if it's just the sphere.
Wasn't the Taj Mahal a billionaire's thing?
Yes.
Billionaires have the money, but they hire the smart people. And these smart and crazy intelligent people are going to be on teams, and then they're going to have the money to do the experiential stuff. I have no worries.
Yeah.
So
esports at the Sphere, the World Championship. Can you imagine
so
that?
Lex,
yeah,
that means your job offers in the mail, right? Because I have no faith in it unless you're there, right?
I sure
That's what you're saying?
so.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm ready. I'll work at the Sphere virtually because I'll
go check my email to see if it's in my inbox, right? Because the way it usually works for billionaires, they're gonna hire their buddies. They're not looking for Lex, they're looking for their buddies. Right. So, but I mean, the Sphere is gonna be, look, the bottom line is this though, Tim. Exactly what's going on with us right now. And we've been talking about the damn Sphere for 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's winning. Mission accomplished.
Right.
Mission.
doing, yeah,
Right.
Michael Jackson theory,
It-
all publicity is good publicity.
exactly. It's taking over our
Weird.
Twitter feeds. It's taking over Facebook. Like
Correct,
it's
correct.
everywhere. So, and I don't think Avixa's content, and they always have good content, but I will say their TikTok content has been so focused on the sphere lately. It's
Yeah.
that's
I
all I
didn't
see.
even know
from-
they had a TikTok.
They
That's wild.
do.
I-
Yeah.
All that being said, I'm so stoked to see it next
Yeah,
month.
me too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta wait till June. So
Boo
Me
hoo
too,
for you.
too.
I'll video
Me
it for
too.
you.
that's all I got so far is just videos. So
Me
Oh,
too.
that's fair. You don't need another video. I'll pay 250,000 to get you up there.
there you go.
With the AV Life blue.
Oh my God, it'd be awesome.
Just rotate the logo around the whole
Yeah.
time.
I think
No,
you
I
could
wanted,
second
like,
life that.
Like I wanted like the old screensaver that like bounces
Oh,
off.
it bounces.
different,
DVD,
even though
the
there's not
DVD.
corners. I don't know how the
Yeah.
no corners thing
The
is gonna
DVD
work,
logo.
but-
Yeah, the DVD logo is gonna be
Just have
crazy.
it bounce. Oh no. You have it bounce like the cards from Windows 95 solitaire.
Ooh.
You have
Ooh.
it.
Yeah. That would be so
cool. Oh, we talk about such great technology and then such old stuff.
About to say, Rennie, $2 billion later, our best ideas
But
are
it's
bouncing
fun.
TV.
And imagine the publicity that would get just by people being like, "Oh my gosh, how funny is this?" It's like the Pac-Man. Come on, everyone. was stoked about it.
I think they did Pac-Man. They have Pac-Man
I
further.
feel like that look, yeah, sounds
That's what I'm
familiar.
saying. They already did it.
Yeah,
So
they did
it was so
Pac-Man.
fun.
Well, we shall see in the tech talk age of the 10-second concentration meter how long shall the 2 whatever billion investment hold eyes and hearts and minds. We shall see.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Now
let's all
I'm gonna
make
predict.
bets.
I'm gonna predict that next quarter that it's definitely gonna be they're still gonna be at a loss, but I think it's gonna be probably in the realm of I'm gonna say like 20 million. I think it's gonna cut down significantly because at this point now YouTube's been there. I think they're there through January or February.
Added more
So
days. Yeah.
yeah. So I know $4 million a show is still a lot of money, but them bringing in things over that time, plus they have some other show that they're running in parallel with
Well,
YouTube.
Tim, to be fair, ticket prices, if it's at like 240, 250 a pop, they're gonna break even. I'm thinking for an experience of that
it's-
magnitude, it's got to be higher than that.
Yeah, Richard said the math didn't work out. So
No, I just double checked Richard's math. I mean, he's right. But 17,000 people at 4 million a night. I mean, I'm not counting any other expenses. You're talking about 240 just to cover YouTube. We still have
just
to
to go-
pay.
alright.
Yeah, we still have to pay.
28.57. Just
There you
to-
go. Right. So we still have to pay staffing. We have to pay maintenance crews. We have to pay power. We have to pay. So it's gonna drive it up. But I mean, like a Beyonce ticket is like 1,500, right? And what is a Taylor Swift ticket these days?
well,
Yeah,
it's
my
about-
daughter flew out to see Adele in whatever hotel she was playing at. and
Right.
paid, I think $9.50 a ticket for that.
There you go. So you know, if they're there, your prediction's gonna come to pass. I think it will. I think there are a lot of people, and Vegas is a nexus point, right?
Mhm.
People come there. Hawaiian Airlines, all the Chinese airlines, people come there. So I can easily see the people who can, you know, they're gonna drop that 950 or whatever it is, and they're gonna
Right,
make
that's
that
what
back.
I'm thinking. I think that from a Las Vegas standpoint, it's brilliant because there are
Yes.
there's probably a couple of young brothers in Glasgow going, "Hey Jimmy, we always wanted to go to Vegas. Let's go now because of the Sphere," and they're going to get on an airplane and come out and drop money in the hotel and go to the Sphere. And by the way, if you get the tram back from the convention center, I'm just looking at the map actually. If you get the tram back from the convention center, you also go right past the Sphere too. So
Well,
it'll
there
be
you
the
go.
hot setup for Infocom next year. Wait till it gets dark. Get the tram back. No.
Yeah.
Well, what I was saying is, look at Cirque du Soleil. They reinvent themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm wondering. The Sphere is, having to reinvent itself so that it keeps that direction.
But I think y'all are making my point.
Oh no,
I-
you're
like-
cutting out.
Oh,
Oh,
you're breaking
say-
up.
World
try-
saying
yeah,
you're
try-
Oh
wrong.
no! Oh
The
Try it
no!
one more
internet
time. Say it
said
one more
you're
time.
wrong.
Oh no! What I was saying is, I think yes, I think that's probably the force telling me don't say it. I think that the mere fact that we're already contemplating, well, they're going to need to have to reinvent themselves. It kind of makes the point. There is a static element that the sphere is. Yes, there's content. We could build content, but it's going to be 18K content. It's not amorphous, right? It's not like those 3D things. It's not like human beings walking around in different spaces and places. So the Soleil gets to reinvent themselves. There's a thing that technology does not replace: humanity. There's a connection there that, you know, we've not just lost. I don't think it's gonna fail. I really don't. But I'm really thinking somebody puts one of those big 3D guys over on the strip, it may be over for the sphere. It may become number 2. It may become Flamengo as hotels go. Nobody wants to be Flamengo, right? So who knows?
Poor
What
old
was-
Flamingo.
Poor Flamengo. Bye, Renee. Go
Don't
Chiefs.
touch our booth.
Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's
Alright.
team.
Well, I was gonna say we're definitely pushing towards the hour mark here. So I was gonna, as this has been an absolutely amazing conversation. I was expecting nothing less with the guests that we brought here tonight. Yes, you are all rock stars, and this is, you know, but yeah, time will tell. It's really what it
Yes.
boils down to.
Yes.
I think, you know, we're gonna see if they make money. If maybe it's just going to be operating at a loss. I mean, how long could you operate at a loss though? Like that's really going to be interesting to see.
How long has the Knicks been under Dolan? They've been operating at a loss. So he's okay with losing. He's really okay with that.
Tax write-off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, never mind. I could make a political comment and I'm going to stop right there. Anyway, so I'm going to say thank you to our guests tonight, Lex, Lisle, Richard. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir.
This is amazing.
Of
Yeah. And to my crew who they've all kind of like had to bolt off. You know, we're getting that time of year where everything gets to be a little crazy. So
A lot going on.
Yes,
yeah, there
indeed.
is. Yes. So thank you to my crew as well. Thank you to our listeners out there. You know, catch us on YouTube on higheredav.com. And I got to figure out how to put this up on the new website. So I have to go back and check my notes on that. And yeah, you'll see us soon. And as I always say, until our next adventure.